Oops.
How do you feel about an email?
Let's check it out.
Should we do
Let's
it?
see what we got, dude.
Okay, we got a decent one here. This is titled Dating Apps, Felony Charges, and Expunction.
Expunction?
Expunction, which I think is potentially liberty
It's
should
a
have
cross
taken.
between expulsion and
Expunge.
expunging. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, boys, it's your girl. Love it.
I don't know if it's our girl. Let's see.
She goes, I'm hitting the dating apps for the first time ever. And I matched with a cute guy right off the bat. We talked regularly for about a week and then decided to meet up for dinner. No red flags have been apparent up to this point, but as a woman, I feel it necessary to give guys a quick Google search before meeting them.
Smart.
It's fair. And 3 doozy charges pop up he never mentioned. Sexual assault of a minor, felony domestic abuse, and false imprisonment.
Yeah, well, I wonder why he didn't mention that.
I foolishly wanted to give him a chance to tell his side and not just write him off. And he acted, capital letters, so chill about the whole thing. Even threw in a few emojis and lols. Said the minor charge was from when he was 20. Police report said 21. And he had a thing with a 17-year-old. Police report said 16. And the dad found out and called the cops. Then on the DV/false imprisonment charge, he said that the neighbors heard them yelling and called the cops. And since they were there, they had to arrest someone, quote. Even added, I hope you don't think badly of me. He told me both cases got dismissed, which I did verify, and that he was working to get them expunged. So I told him it was a lot to process and I have more questions. Not sure why I was even giving him the opportunity. But he responds, haha, not looking to discuss it at all, TBH. Not right now, anyway. For clarification purposes, he's only 23, and these charges were in 1/18 and 11/18. Awesome first few days of online dating. Anyway, this brings up the question, do you guys think people should be able to expunge things from their record? I think you can expunge things from your record. Mm-hmm. But that is a good point, I guess, when it comes to dating and stuff. In what instances should it be okay, not okay? I think there are clear laws about this. I haven't done super extensive research, but it looks like he can get rid of both the convictions. As because I'm a female, I'm dependent on those records being public for me to know and to keep me safe, even if they were dismissed, expunged.
Totally.
Which is very fair. I didn't even know expunging was a thing. Maybe I'm just out of the loop. Who knows? And just to be clear, not going to dinner and blocked his number. I'll be excited to see if this gets brought up. What a wild ride. Love you guys. Favorite podcast. Thank you. What do you think?
Okay. I think that, and this is idealistic, but I think that our penal code is structured in such a way that if your record or marks on your record get expunged, it's not done lightly. Meaning it will either take a long period of time where you've really proven to behave well, or you've rehabilitated, or you're not continuing to exhibit a pattern of behavior that maybe it shows that the thing you did was a one-off and not indicative of who you are, right? It's just a mistake. And in that sense, yeah, I do think people deserve to start fresh.
Right.
And I think that, if you do get, I hope that if you do get something struck from your record, expunged from your record, that you deserved to have it wiped away.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
yes.
I don't think that...
Certain things shouldn't be expunged.
No, and I don't think like sexual assault or certainly anything with a minor, I don't think those things get expunged.
So, this is the question, though. He was never convicted. The charges were dismissed. Did she say they were felonies or not? Because that's the thing that sucks, is like, if the charges end up getting dismissed, that's a completely different thing also.
Right.
Because, like, that means he didn't do it.
Well, it doesn't necessarily.
It doesn't. You're
It
right.
just could mean that the victims didn't want to move forward.
And there's potentially unfair ambiguity in that also.
Right. Okay, so, all right. The question is, should people who are dating, be able to know or find out about the criminal history of the person they're seeing?
Right. And the answer is yes. They should.
Absolutely, the answer is yes. And I would say to this girl who said she's new to the dating apps, there are enough law-abiding men out there that you don't have to fucking see this guy again.
Right.
I'm sorry. This guy is, I'm not... Maybe he made mistakes. Maybe he is, we shouldn't discredit him. But For me, it's like he should be dating women with criminal histories. You know? Like, there are plenty of women who have done bad shit, and there should be a dating app. Like, former felons meet.
Dude, that is hilarious.
You know? Like, you if you want to fucking... You're going to be that guy who's false imprisonment. Isn't that almost kidnapping?
I know. Dude, that's how... We should make that app, dude. Felonification.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Right. So,
better names.
you know, you know, if you want to give him a shot, if you have that big of a heart... Give him a shot. And unless on that first date he comes to you and blows you away by being, you know, some guy, I don't see a reason to have to risk it.
Yeah, no, unfortunately. And dude, I think that, you know, as a former, you know, person who's gone through, as an expunctee,
Wow.
to fully, you know, to build off of the made up words that she was using, I think that I'll explain how the expungement process goes. It took me a year. I was on probation for a year.
And what you don't have to tell
Misdemeanor charges. 3. Arson.
This was the
This is the fire.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've gotten arrested. The arson, there was illegal use of fireworks, and there was another charge that I don't remember.
Right. But let me pause you for a second.
Please.
You go on a first date with a girl and you explain what those were.
Right, it's funny.
She's not gonna be fearful.
Totally. It's like it
You
fully
lit a
adds
fire
up.
you lit a field on fire with fireworks. It's like, well, okay, I'm not going to go on a date with him on the 4th of July. Like, stay away from him one day of the year, maybe New Year's Eve. And other than that, you're fine.
That's very funny, dude. You're right, though. And also, my story fully adds up.
Right.
Like, who knows? Like, these kind of domestic abuse things, those are, like, not ideal.
Yeah, that
things to be saying.
reflects somebody who you should not be dating. That is relevant to getting into a relationship with someone.
Right. It is. You're right. You're right.
You know,
It's just tough.
yeah. So, but sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't. You didn't. I would just say, but I think that's pretty much all I had to say. So it took a while. It
took
me,
a year for
it was-
those 3 misdemeanors to be expunged.
I had 3 court dates that I had to go to over the phone. Like, it was a huge, obvious pain in the ass, which I deserved for being a moron and almost destroying this fucking town. But yeah, so I believe my thing's expunged now, but it was a bit of a process.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's taking him longer, but it also seems like his charges are much more serious potentially.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, some of those crimes, if that's what they were, you have to wonder, well, why didn't he go to jail? Like, why isn't he in jail? And if he's not in jail, it may be because he was allowed to be out, provided that his record remains.
Right. Right.
So that people can be aware of it. I mean, the whole point of the sex offenders registry is to keep people aware that those people are not to be left around children, or like, you got to know what you're getting yourself into if you're going to date them. And, you know, I do think like people getting put on the sex offenders registry if they're caught peeing near a school or something,
right.
Like, yeah, okay, there are some exceptions, like that's extreme, but
that seems like you should be able to get yourself out of it.
I bet you that, yeah, I
see
bet
if
you
you're
that
a
gets
lawyer.
taken
I don't
off.
know.
Who knows?
Right.
I generally think that when it comes to dating, the criminal records that you see should be either easily explainable, right? And you either you're gonna buy the explanation or not, or they're fair.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, of course. Like I have a clear and logical explanation as to how my thing was stupid,
right,
and not a threat to her in any way or our potential future together.
Right. And so I also think that if you're on the dating apps, doing a Google search of the person, if you match with them and are planning to see them, is a very good idea. In fact, a necessity, because nobody is putting, you know, beneath their height and the fact that they love the new Taylor Swift album. Nobody's putting also, you know,
felon,
working on my false imprisonment charge, and like, you know, I lit a field on fire.
But how do you get the last name? I'm wondering. Like, maybe they friended each other on Facebook, because on most dating apps isn't just the first name. And I guess maybe their Instagram's usually linked. I guess there's ways.
You can figure it out. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Because it'll have their school, and then you can do a back search.
Right.
Stuff.
Well,
fascinating.
Good for you for doing your due diligence.
Would you date a girl with a criminal record? And what would the charges be where you would say, I'm not going to see her?
Whoa. I guess I would. Yeah, I mean, it depends. But, and like the charges that I would, like if she had some kind of restraining order against her.
Yeah.
That's not ideal.
No.
Just
That's not
hedging
fun.
your bets for the future.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. Like it's such a hard thing to envision, like what you could have and would have done.
I'm pretty turned off by women who shoplift.
Ah,
I find shoplifting to be really, really gross.
I think it's a thing.
And I remember in high school finding out that a lot more women did it than I thought.
Yeah,
And they were
we have
stealing,
an
like-
email about this.
Stealing like earrings from, shitty stores at the mall.
Yeah,
It was just cheap stuff.
totally.
And I remember hearing them, friends of mine would tell me about
They're
it.
reckless.
And I would say like, well, why are you doing it? And they were like, well, because because they could afford it.
Right.
They were like, I don't know, there's something about the thrill of it.
Right.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah. One of our we got an email. I'm not going to read it, but we can summarize. A girl was basically saying that like she never got caught, but when she did get caught, it was just in like her being so reckless. She was driving to work and she didn't have socks, and she was like, "I'm just going to go steal some socks." So she went to Kohl's, stole socks, and then in the parking lot, one of the people came out and grabbed her and brought her inside. And they're like, "You're never allowed to come back here again." That was essentially what happened. But by the way, I thought that they weren't allowed to chase you into the parking lot, so I found that interesting.
Why would they not be allowed?
I don't know.
to chase you?
That's just like one of those urban legends you hear. You're like, once you get out the door, like you're good. Like from kids that I know who like steal a bunch of
They're
shit.
just like advised not to chase after people, like to call the police and
Right.
have them deal with it.
And one of my ex-girlfriends used to work at the Coach store, and she said that people would rip them off all the time,
All the time.
and that once they got out of the door, you weren't supposed to chase them. She told me that.
Interesting.
So also another thing this girl told me was that one time she robbed liquor from a store twice in the same day, and the second time in that day she got caught, and the same thing. They're just like never come back.
Yeah, I would never date that girl.
And I wonder if
Too stupid.
I wonder if being a teenage girl, there's something about that too that lowers the stakes of stealing because like you're a teenage girl and they're just going to tell you to go home and never come back.
Sure, it may be a phase. It may be something that they grow out of. Yeah, if a girl that I'm going on a date with has something on her record that from stealing something when she was 16, that's a lot different from if
Totally.
it was when she was 28.
Totally.
But even so, I would be more likely to, and I know this sounds self-centered or whatever, but like forgive or look past a girl that had like one DUI
Right.
than I would be if
Totally.
from a girl who had stolen stuff and gotten in big trouble for it.
Interesting.
And I'm talking later in life, at a point when you should know better.
Right. Right.
Because stealing is a sickness to some people. Kleptomania,
right.
Who's Winona Ryder was famous for being this way. Some people can't help themselves.
Right.
It's like an addiction, like a syndrome.
Uh-huh.
And I would not want to deal with dating somebody who, I'm opening up the fucking mudroom closet one day and I see a whole bunch of paper towels with the price tag still on them.
Right. And dude, that's the thing. It's like, you're stealing shit and you don't like the worst case scenario is not good.
No.
You know what I mean? And like you don't know, there's so many things you don't know. So like
Right.
to be putting yourself at risk like that is not a good sign.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. If the woman had assault charges, that would be troubling for me.
Right, but then what if she was like, she was talking about a boyfriend who used to beat her ass.
Well, then yeah, sure. Right. That's that's a nightmare.
Good explanation.
But I was thinking like a woman that had assault charges of another woman.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Just like straight up beat the shit out of a girl. I'd be like, I don't think I can handle you. I play the piano. Like, you got the wrong guy here.
Right, you
know
bring
what I
her
mean?
around to a comedy show and you just have to worry that she's like fucking starting fights
Yeah.
with anybody who looks at you, ripping their weave out. If you like that video, check out our channel where we have way more videos. I just don't know how to do this. This is unbelievable. If you like that video, we have way more videos on our channel. Please like and subscribe. Turn on notifications if you want to know when there are new ones. But if not, check them out and we appreciate it.
Oops.